Hello, everybody. It's Fever here. Today we're going to be playing In All My Dreams, I Choke on Invisible Smoke, a submission to the FeverDream Game Jam created by Kanderwund. And I'm looking at these little GIFs here, and I'm already suspecting I'm going to really enjoy this game. Especially because they mentioned that this game was somewhat inspired by Yume Nikki, one of my favorite games ever. I love that game so much. So much, in fact, that I made 3 games inspired by it myself. So let's get it. Let's read what we have here. That spring, my head overflowed with visions, and I dreamed of another world. Surreal visual novel / point and click game. Estimated around an hour long. 2 endings, no jump scares. Made primarily for the FeverDream Game Jam. Theme was Abandoned Garden. Please note that version before one. Yep, and we're going to be playing the latest version, I believe. Yeah. All right. Now, I should probably play the downloaded version, actually. So give me just a moment here. I'm going to get that one working. Here we go. Later, maybe brave. Okay. Let's see. Proceed. What an awesome title screen. Alright, let's get in. A boy, a girl, neither. Will be a boy. My name is Jacob. That spring, my head overflowed with visions, and I dreamed of another world. Spring, I sat on the grass after school and drew pictures. I'm gonna move this there. Wow. He distorted the air and at times seemed to melt the trees away entirely. The sun and sky too, dissolving them all, revealing behind them something I could not quite understand. A lesser defined world that wavered beyond the confines of physical space. My head ached, my sketches multiplied. I had time to perfect them, since my mother took hours to finish work and pick me up. Sometimes she forgot and I had to use the school phone to remind her. I didn't have my own phone. There was no one I wanted to talk to. In point and click mode. Whoa. This garden has fallen into disrepair. What a shame. What a shame. How foolish you and I were to give up the best of all things. In return for what? A world full of smoke. Benedict. Wow. Looks like we've reached the end of the path. Hello, Benedict. Perhaps I missed something. Anything to click on? The trees are losing their definition. There is something beyond them, shimmering. It is beautiful in a way I cannot describe. Touch it? Yes. It burns. I woke up with the taste of dirt in my mouth. You sat with me for lunch because I was one of the few people who wouldn't shoo you away. You could have been more popular if you tried, but you got too excited about things, said the wrong words at the wrong times in the wrong tone of voice, and you talked loudly about how good your grades were. I saw how the others glared at you for that. What will you do after you graduate, you asked me. I don't know. Haven't thought about it. You mean you haven't applied for colleges or anything? Did you? Georgia State, but I don't know if I'll get in. Might go to community college if I don't. I'm not really sure what I want to do with my life. Guessing it's the same with you, huh? I nodded, but my thoughts were elsewhere entirely. I never liked it when people talked about the future. Really cool visuals. That spring, my father went on another business trip to New Mexico. I could count on my hands the number of weeks in the year he was home. I was starting to forget his face. That spring, I started wandering the neighborhood after school. The weather was hot, but home was hotter. My mother never turned on the AC until she had to. Inside, the air was stifling. The Christian broadcast my grandmother favored could penetrate through any wall. Don't we long to be like Adam and Eve in the garden walking with God, knowing God's love shed abroad in our hearts? Today men live their lives on a dunghill. How has the beautiful garden become a wilderness? The heart that once was a temple of God is now a den of thieves. Once Adam lived his days without a cold, he never even sniffled. Now we are a race of dying men and women. None is spared, neither old nor young. The wages of sin is death. My grandfather was there too. He had the habit of coming to my door in the middle of the night and knocking while I tried to sleep. I learned to lock my door after the first time, but of course he learned nothing. He couldn't. My wanderings took me nowhere. The suburb terminated at one end in a 3-lane road, and at the other end in a 4-lane road, no pedestrian crossings. There was nowhere to go. We're back into the forest. Is Benedict here today? Oh, he was there yesterday, though. Well, the other day. Trees part for me easily. Oh. We'll go left. Left. Hey. Why are you crying? Joyce, I was born in the suburbs of Melbourne, but my family moved to Canberra when I was young. Where are you from? Georgia. Here. Georgia. Georgia, the United States? I think I've heard of that place. Tell your friends there hello for me. Okay, Joyce. Whoa. That feeling you get all the time like you want to choke and vomit, that's the invisible smoke. That's what kills people. Not old age, not heart disease, invisible smoke everywhere. But you and I, we're the only ones who can feel it. Everyone's out there dying of invisible smoke, but we're the only ones having a proper allergic reaction to it. Crazy, right? How do I get away from the invisible smoke? What? You can't. That's the whole point. Haha. Whoa. Good news. To celebrate your arrival, they planted trees in the eastern glade. You should go find it. Thanks, Wesley. Hey, is that Benedict? You again. You do know you are intruding. To cross the Rubicon is no light task. I seldom see your kind. Only the worthy are allowed beyond here. Oh. I should go east before I try that, I think. You need to grow beyond the confines of the physical world. A flowering is needed for this. You'll need a flower, maybe two. No, one will do. You look very cool. A flower. Yeah, we need a flower. Oh my. We have a flower now. I can hear music pass through, yes. It is beautiful. It hurts. I woke up with an ache in my wrist from the flower. I imagine. That spring I overslept frequently. My mother would raise her eyes from the newspaper and stare through me as I asked her to drive to school. Okay, she said, as if school hadn't started 10 minutes ago. She'd learned to expect nothing from me. My mother had an anxious manner. She never ended a sentence on a firm note. My memories of her are inextricably tied to my memories of her 3-garage house where she lived all day, looking out the window at the other 3 garage houses, looking for nothing, since there was never anything to see. No one walked their dogs, no children played in the streets, no point when you could just drive to the park outside the neighborhood. No point when you could just drive to the park outside the neighborhood. Our silent suburb only had cars and shuttered windows, never people. We lived near forests when I was younger. Back then there were crows and mourning doves and other birds I could not name. Deer slipping between the trees. Then they developed the forest into another suburb, and my family moved, closer to the private high school they had decided to send me to. So we would be 5 minutes drive away instead of 50. I got rid of the forest for a suburb. Man, that's relatable. Back then my grandfather could still hold a conversation. My mother used to be more involved in church life, but after my grandfather got worse after my father started taking his prolonged business trips, she stopped. Still, she took me to church every Sunday, and I never said no. After all the ways I had disappointed her, I didn't want to see the look on her face as I let go of the one last thing that mattered. And I believed, or I thought I did. My grandmother went too, of course, and used our time in the car to opine on politics and religion. She disliked the new churches. They teach nothing. They teach people to be satisfied with themselves and to be content with the paths they're already going down. Faith isn't about that. Sometimes you need to put the fear of God into people. People these days don't fear God anymore. They don't respect Him. What has become of us? The preacher said, "Life alone filled the Garden of Eden. Death was non-existent. This life was not the bane of dreary life often experienced in our world of sin. It was the abundant life of God, the kind Jesus said He came to restore us." John 10:10. This was life at its fullest, life like none known since then. The earth was in complete harmony with its creator. When sin entered the human race, man lost the life they had known. Death took its place. Wow. That spring the sun caught the white flowering dogwood buds and the freshly grown oaken leaves, and everything was rejuvenated. I felt sicker than ever. I saw the other world in all things, concealed within the patterns of leaves, grass, rainwater. The shadows of the trees outside my window formed a door on my wall. I could not open it. I went around with a head full of delirium and the constant awareness that if I'd stayed up one more hour to finish that homework assignment on time, or study for that test, I might not be failing 2 of my classes. That spring, the music I heard and while asleep entered the waking world. It was there at school, strains of melody wafting through the open window as I sat at the desk. Notes high and pure enough to be mistaken for error. Hey, Father, we thank you for the gift of marriage. We acknowledge that your ways are perfect and that you make no mistakes. We gladly confess that without you we can do nothing. Help us to submit ourselves to you completely with no strings attached. May we become a church of happy Christian homes where Jesus Christ can be seen in our closest relationships. We pray for those who are hurting and lonely that they might receive a fresh touch from your Spirit, granting healing and hope to us as we pray. That is what we're thinking about. That is what you're thinking about. How strange of you. I've been here more times than I can remember. This time, let's go left again. Oh my. You're born too late to explore the world. Everything is already known. We understand God and understand science and understand the planet and how we're destroying it. We understand technology and use it to kill people where it counts with AI-guided strike missiles and autonomous war drones. We understand everything. We have reached the apex of society, and it will be this forever. It will be this life with the suburban garages and white siding and the abandoned vegetable gardens in the backyard, picket fences, perfectly trimmed lawn grass. There's no place left to discover. The entire planet has been mapped out. You can go nowhere. You are trapped here for the rest of your life. There is no escape. Hashtag relatable. Oh my goodness. Can it be? Amalgamia? At last, we've found you. Though I appear human, I am nothing of the sort, merely an artificial soul flickering through the digital ether. The others here, however, are more human than you might think. Life is full of contradictions. How marvelous. Brilliant cameo. Oh, look at you, cute little thing. Ellie. The foundational elements that the world are built upon are smoke, metal, plastic, meat, and a fifth thing. What is the fifth thing? What about the periodic table? Huh? What's that? I've never heard of it. That seems unscientific. Oh, I get it. We must not come from the same place. Maybe things work differently for you. It's okay, you'll learn eventually. There are no grades here. Nobody's going to quiz you and then be disappointed if you fail. Isn't that nice? Okay, I love this character. I'm gonna screenshot this character. Perfect. I love this. Wow. What an awesome game this is. So good to see you, Amalgamia. We're gonna leave your house now. Wow. There's going to be a final war called the Battle of Armageddon. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed. There's going to be a lamentations and wailing. Not my blood, though. Surely I am exempt. Surely I am deserving. Oh, brilliant. Let's go up here. Whoa. They just keep getting cooler and cooler. And I asked myself, what is this place? And I asked myself, why do I see it everywhere? In the sky, the ground, the bowing of the trees in a windstorm, the cyclic patterns of leaves through the air. You saw the trees swaying in the wind. You sound... Pardon me. The sound inside your head is growing louder. It never stops growing. It is the most beautiful pain you've known. Goodness. They said everything is transforming, becoming something else. They said you will have strange dreams of being touched. They said you will want to be touched. I asked if I don't want, and what if I don't want to be touched? We'll go there in a bit. Nobody home today? No. There we are. I'm in the early stages of thinking about killing myself. What an interesting thing to say. In the early stages of thinking. Well, how about you don't do that? You look awesome. A deer. If God does not exist, then both man and the universe are inevitably doomed to death. Man, like all biological organisms, must die. With no hope of immortality, man's life leads only to the grave. His life is but a spark in the infinite blackness, a spark that appears, flickers, and dies forever. Scientists tell us that the universe is expanding, and everything in it is growing farther and farther apart. As it does so, it grows colder and colder, and its energy is used up. Eventually, all the stars will burn out and all matter will collapse into dead stars and black holes. There will be no light at all, there will be no heat, there will be no life. Only the corpses of dead stars, galaxies, and ever-expanding into the endless darkness and the cold recesses of space, a universe in ruins. So not only is the life of each individual person doomed, the entire human race is doomed. There's no escape offered. Ouch. Yeah, that's what scientists say. Oh, I'm bleeding! But who's to say science is right? It's Benedict again. God created humans and left them in their own devices so they could destroy themselves. Oh, should I press end? End. Oh, hello there. They're all the crazy ones. We're the only sane people in a world we will never understand. You get it, right? Nobody's at church. That's a nice church, though. I wish I had a church like that. It's you again. The more lucid and overwhelming one's belief in heaven, the greater the temptation to get it over with. This business of life. Of the not very many ways known of shedding one's body, falling is the supreme method. But you have to select your sill or ledge. But you have to select your sill or ledge very carefully so as to not hurt yourself or others. I didn't quite understand that sentence. Sill. I've never seen that word before. Am I dumb? The ideal drop is from an aircraft. Your muscles relaxed, your pilot puzzled, your parachute shuffled off, cast off, shrugged off farewell. Down you go, but all the while you feel suspended and buoyed as you somersault in slow motion like a... Goodness, these words, man. Somnolent, tumbler, pigeon, and sprawl supine on the... Oh my goodness. Eater down of the air. I'm learning things today. This game has taught me stuff. Or lazily turn to embrace your pillow, enjoying every last instant of soft, deep, death-padded life with the earth's green seesaw now above, now below, and the voluptuous crucifixion as you stretch yourself in the growing rush, in the nearing swish. And then your loved body's obliteration in the lap of the Lord. I needed those fingers, though. Well... The image is worth 1,000 words. It captures something 1,000 words cannot. A single moment frozen, silent. In the beginning was the image, and it was still perfect, frozen in a beautiful eternity. And now it is gone forever. Oh, hello there. I'm not meant for display. You should shove me in a box and leave me in a warehouse underground. Lowest level. Stop touching me. But you're so adorable. Okay. The music is growing louder. Hey, we finally made it past. Are we above the forest? Are we near the sky? A place of infinite peace. Oh no. I woke up with blood under my fingernails. That spring I was failing both biology and pre-calculus and surrounded constantly by people who talked about applying to Ivy Leagues. Oh, so relatable, dude. I existed around more likable, more sociable, more accomplished versions of me who were better on every metric. Every possible reason I had to exist had already been taken by someone else. I was good at nothing. Even my art was unexceptional. Brian Sanborn would always be the best artist in the grade, and compared to him, my drawings were nothing, stupid figures no one would pin to a wall. I couldn't picture myself happy. I didn't want a family or children or a car or a suburban home or an apartment in the city or a stable career. I couldn't imagine wanting any of those things. My future was a blank page. There was nothing to distinguish me besides my lack of relevance to the world. Of my grandmother, what I remember is the screaming. In the morning, she lambasted my grandfather for urinating on the bathroom floor in the middle of the night. Got all over the place. I'm so sick of him. He can't do anything right, and so on. My mother nodded understandingly, as always, eyes fixed on her newspaper. In the afternoon, muffled arguments filtered out of their room in time with the television broadcasts. Scattered words heard through a wall. Can't you do anything right? Cast further and further away. Just listen to me. Disobeyed the voice of God. Don't you remember? Hell will be a continual, everlasting drifting into a black darkness. What's wrong with you? Occasionally there were low groans and moanings like those of an animal in pain, repetitive bangs that reminded me of beatings and the snap of broken bones. I imagined her hitting him, thrashing his brittle arms and legs. His fragile body crumpled beneath her as he lowered in agony, and she kept screaming and screaming and screaming. The broadcast continued on TV. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. God will create a special planet, and when judgment comes, and they are carried away by the angels, bound hand and foot, and cast into our darkness, they're cast into this planet. And God will fling it into an outer cosmos, and all through eternity it will drift further and further away from the light. Hell will be a continual everlasting drifting into a blank darkness. We're in the kitchen. Your grandmother doesn't scream exactly, said my mother, dabbling lotion onto her hands. She's old, her hearing is going. She's just talking to him. That's how old people talk. Can't you do something about it? I asked. What do you think we should do? I don't know. She laughed. Then don't bring it up next time. I never brought it up again. And we're back into the forest. An old home welcomes me back. I can hear the music. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Whoa. Wow. Hey. Do you love your family? I think so. You may proceed. Hey, you're Isaiah. Hey, you again. Do you love your friends? I think so. You may proceed. Is life meaningless? Without God, all things are meaningless. God hates me. Without God, all things are meaningless. You may proceed. Are you going to hell when you die? I don't know. You may proceed. Can you imagine a happy future for yourself? Why are you guys asking me so many questions? I'll end up just like my grandfather or grandmother. What do we think Jacob is more likely to end up like? Probably grandfather. You may proceed. He isn't the talkative type, I don't think. Oh, look at that. Got some 3D going on here. Hey. You know as well as I do where you belong. I know. I woke up. I wanted to see the view. Everything hurt. I kept getting distracted. No longer sure if the strains of music were only in my own head. The world wavered like water in a glass. I saw everything as a reflection of something higher, a continuously unfolding revelation, a message meant for me alone, which I had failed to understand. Hey, it's that girl. Out of nowhere, he leaned over the table and asked, "Do you believe in God?" Okay, but who's asking this? It's probably the girl, right? I think so. I think I do. You think? I mean, I couldn't say it. You looked apologetic. You said, "Sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I just wanted to know that you believed in the Lord." I mean, never mind. This could get awkward. Let's talk about something else. Actually, you know what? I said, "Actually, you know what? Been thinking about it a lot. I don't think I believe in God at all. But I'm sick of God. Sick. You hear me? Sick. I can't stand it." But I said, "Whoa. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna try my best to read this. It's really hard to read white text on a black background. I'm sick of God. I'm sick of going to church every Sunday, and I'm sick of hearing my Gram's TV broadcast, and I'm sick of hearing her screaming at my Gramps at night because he's pissed on the bathroom floor because he has dementia and he's never getting better. She starts screaming and she just doesn't shut up. Even if I curl up in the closet with my hands covering my ears, I can still hear her because she just doesn't shut up. And I can hear these muffled bangs like the sound of something being thrown at a wall, and imagine her snapping his brittle arms and legs like sticks, wailing on him as he groans in pain, and she's screaming. And she keeps screaming because she never stops screaming. I hope they die. That's why I go around thinking all the time. I want to stab them. I want to run them over with the car. I want to douse them with gasoline and light them on fire. I'm a sinful person because I don't love my family. I don't think I've ever loved them, or if I have, I can't remember it. I keep thinking about how if I was orphaned in a freak accident, I'd feel nothing, but that's why I'm going to hell when I die. I can't bring myself to believe in God, but I believe in hell. Humans suffer from total depravity. I'm a depraved person. My whole nature is corrupt. My heart is putrid. I am completely lacking in original righteousness. Every day I defile myself and everyone else I know. You too. I hate you. I despise you. I never told you before because I was trying to be nice, but you're one of the most annoying people I know. I can't stand you. I'm sick of you, and I want you to shut up and go away forever. I want everyone to shut up and go away forever. I want everyone to die." I got up and left. The classroom is empty. There's a window with a tree outside, and the sunlight is slanted so the leaves form a shadow on the wall. I stand there, breathing in, out. It smells bad here. There's a wad of gum stuck on a nearby table. I keep breathing. My skin crawls. If you focus, if you blur your eyes, you don't have to worry about any of this ever again. It's not your fault. It's not your problem. These people aren't like you. You don't have to be normal. There's something wrong with everyone else. Stop. Breathe again. 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 The door was here the whole time. The music is swelling. I need to go. Someone knocked. He said, "Hey, are you there? I saw you going in. I'm sorry. If you're going through a bad time or whatever, I'm here for you, okay? I don't know what else I can say." I said nothing. "You didn't really mean the stuff about how you don't care about me, right? I know I haven't been, maybe I screwed up a bit, but I don't." I said nothing. "Look, I'm sorry. Can I come in, please? Can I come in? I have something I need to tell you. It's really important. You're my only friend. I said nothing, but you opened the door and walked in anyway. It was a perfectly mundane classroom. Neutral sunlight widened the walls. You looked momentarily surprised, as if you had been expecting worse. Then you walked closer. Jacob, you said. I love you. I love you. I mean, romantically, I love you. And I've been in love with you for years, okay? I know now isn't the best time, but I had to tell you. I said, you know I don't feel the same way about you, right? I know, you said. You looked disappointed still. Yeah, I've known for a while, but I had to tell you. We're still friends, right? The sunlight shifted, the pattern of the door on the wall disappeared. I said, sure. Can I kiss you? Just one time? I said, sure. You leaned in, put your hands on my shoulders, and kissed me. A light touch of the lips, your breath was hot against my face, my glasses knocked against yours. It felt like nothing. It felt vaguely nauseating. I felt vaguely disgusted with myself. Whatever reaction you'd been hoping for, you clearly hadn't found it. I saw your expression crumble. I knew then that we would never talk to each other again. Lunch is ending, I said. Let's go. That spring is over now. It was many years ago. We never did speak again after that. We stopped eating together. Privately, I was glad. I did get a job eventually, despite my reservations. I work PR in an office with many cubicles. PR, though. PR? There aren't many windows here. Sometimes I can barely see the sun. I live alone, in my own apartment. I've never entered a relationship with anyone. I never kissed anyone else. I don't intend to. I still think sometimes about the other world I saw, and the fleeting dreams I had, which were inevitably more vivid than reality. Which were infinitely more vivid than reality. But they had disappeared, as all things will end. Whoa! Oh, that was sad, but it was beautiful. What a game. And I definitely see the inspirations of Human Nikki. I don't know what to say, though. I guess I got one of the endings. I wonder which ending it was. Maybe you have to do specific answers when the characters are asking you questions to get the other one? I don't know. Anyways, it's hard to rate a game like that because it's a visual novel for one, which is a very different kind of game. It's more like a book. It's more like a show. It's more like a video and a book than a game. Kind of, but we're gonna try to find a way to rate that. Incredible work, Kanderwund, or Kadu. I'm not sure how you want me to pronounce that, but I'm gonna have to rate this fun to play. I was having fun. I really like these kinds of games. I really like games that make you introspect, and that's why this is definitely a 5-star creativity originality. This was definitely plucked out of your brain. And I really loved the characters, the animated characters and the animated parts of the game. In particular, I really liked this section of the game. And the first time that the music started playing, like, started getting into the music. I really liked that part of the game, the first sort of rising action moment, you could say. And challenge inclusions. You had Amalgamia in your game, and that was really cool. And awaken the soul of the player. I see how you were saying it's a little bit, like, sort of, but I totally get it. I think that was a perfect challenge. At that. Also, I liked the tower. It did feel like it was infinitely long. You kept climbing up and we never reached the top. We never got to see the view I was hoping to see. So I'm going to have to give that a 5-star in challenge inclusions, because you did multiple and you did them well. Theme inclusion. There definitely, it was an abandoned garden, wasn't it? I think that's another 5-star. You had plants, you had gardens. It didn't feel totally abandoned, but in a way it was, wasn't it? So I think that's perfect. Perhaps I'm biased because I love these types of games, but I can't help myself. I loved this game. This is phenomenal. I'm really excited to see more from Kanderwund. Thank you so much for participating in this game jam. And I'm going to have to end the video here, but I think I might go and do another playthrough and try to get the other ending on my own time. And I hope other people do play this game and see what they can find. Perhaps I missed stuff. I'm sure I did, actually. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and please comment what you thought about the game. What was your favorite part? And what was your favorite character? I think mine was Amalgamia. That's very predictable, but you know, it was so cool to see her in the game. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!